All right, gloves on, everyone. Today we're stepping into the ring, metaphorically, of course. We're diving deep into the world of boxing technique and training. And our guide for this is Boxing's 10 Commandments, Essential Training for the Sweet Science by Alan LaChica and Doug Werner.
And even if you, the listener, have zero plans to ever actually box, stick with us. Because the fundamentals we're going to break down, things like stance, movement, strategy, they can actually give you some really cool insights into stuff like balance, reaction time, even how you plan things in everyday life.
It's kind of like, you know how they say martial arts can teach you discipline even if you never fight? This is kind of in that vein.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not talking cardio boxing here. This book, it's a real deal, like a serious boxer's manual. Over 900 photos in this thing.
900 photos. That's a lot of photos.
Yeah, they really break it down visually. And Lichika, he's a certified USA amateur boxing coach, so knows his stuff. Werner's got the writing experience to make it all clear. They've boiled it all down to 10 core principles, from the super basic, like how to even stand, to advanced stuff like sparring drills.
So for our listeners today, our mission is to pull out some of that core boxing wisdom and see how it applies to you, even if you're like never going to throw a punch or after those aha moments without making your head spin. And where better to start than with commandment number 1?
Fight from the boxer's stance with rhythm. Music to a coach's ears, that one.
All right, break it down for us. What does that even mean, boxer's stance?
So the classic on-guard stance, it's really where everything begins. The book makes a point that even guys known for their unique styles, like Roy Jones Jr., they all started with a strong foundation in this traditional stance. Hands up, elbows in, you know the look. And there's a reason for that. It's all about being ready to both attack and defend at the same time. That's boxing in a nutshell, right? Offense and defense, always working together.
Okay, so paint us a picture. If we're standing in this stance, what's it look like?
All right, so upper body, you're kind of turned sideways, less of a target that way, and it sets you up to really twist your torso when you punch. More power.
Makes sense. So we're sideways. What about the legs?
Lower body's a bit more open. Your front toes should line up roughly with your back heel. That little difference between the upper and lower body is key.
How so?
Well, that slight opening in the hips, it gives you quicker reach with your rear hand, which is usually your power hand. And it helps with stability, too. And then you want to have your spine angled just a bit forward.
Just a bit. Why even bother with that? Seems minor.
Trust me, it matters.
Yeah.
That lean engages your core. It puts you in that ready position like, a tennis player about to serve or a baseball batter waiting for the pitch. Balance and readiness.
Okay, starting to get it. And the hands, obviously super important.
Huge. Lead hand slightly in front of your shoulder, almost like you're feeling out the distance, ready to jab. Backhands close to your chin, your shield. Elbows tucked down, protecting your ribs. Forearms, parallel-ish. And the chin, this is vital, tucked down. The book actually says, imagine holding a tennis ball between your chin and your chest.
Ouch, sounds uncomfortable. But I get the point. Protection.
Exactly. They even suggest practicing in front of a mirror. Feet together, step out with your lead foot, turn your shoulders, bring your hands up. You'll feel how that slight forward lean and keeping your head behind your front foot really balances you, makes you harder to knock over.
Cool. Now, one thing I've always wondered, are you supposed to keep your fists clenched all the time?
Ah, good question. Some trainers are all about that. Clenched fists, always ready to fire. But Latika, he actually prefers a more relaxed approach, what he calls free hands. He compares it to like a cat about to pounce, Muscles are ready, but it looks relaxed. And where to look? Focus on the opponent's upper chest. Gives you the best overall view, head to toe. You can anticipate movements better that way. So you got your stance, but the commandment also says, with rhythm. What's that about? It's not just standing there, right?
Exactly. It's boxing, not statue posing.
Right. And rhythm, it connects to basic physics.
Mm.
An object in motion stays in motion. Like a basketball player bouncing the ball before shooting, getting into a rhythm, ready to jump. Same for a boxer. Rhythm makes it easier to attack or defend. Plus, if you're moving with rhythm, you're a harder target to hit. The other guy has to time his punches perfectly.
So it's not just about being harder to hit, it's about being ready to move in any direction at any time.
Bingo. Makes all the difference. And there are different kinds of rhythm, too. The book talks about long and short.
Fill us in.
Long rhythm, they compare it to a fighter like Ali, Lots of movement, in and out, side to side, really fluid, almost like dancing. Short rhythm, more like Joe Frazier. Quicker, more head movement, lots of bobbing and weaving, and more upper body action.
Sounds exhausting.
It can be. Short rhythm means you're usually closer to your opponent, more time in that danger zone. It's demanding, always ready for action.
Okay, so commandment 1, it's all about getting that foundation right. Posture and movement, that's the base. Now, commandment 2, learn to move skillfully in all directions. Sounds like we're building on that rhythm idea.
We are. The stance and rhythm, that's the foundation, but footwork is how you use it to move around the ring. It's kind of crazy. The book calls feet a boxer's most overlooked asset. Good footwork keeps you safe, keeps you balanced, and it's huge for controlling the fight, like where it takes place, who's coming forward, all that. If you can move well in any direction and stay balanced, you've got a huge edge.
So what's the golden rule of boxing footwork?
It's actually pretty simple. The foot closest to where you want to go moves first. So forward, lead footsteps, backward, back footsteps. The trick is to keep that boxer's stance the whole time, balanced and protected. Small steps, stay close to the ground. Think gliding, not stomping. That's what the book says.
Makes sense. But how do you avoid getting all off balance when you take that second step?
That's where this push off and slide technique comes in. So after that first step, whether it's forward or back, the other foot pushes off and slides to keep you in that stance. Stops you taking too big a step, which can throw you off balance.
Ah, so if you take a big clunky step and the other guy throws a punch, you're stuck.
Exactly. Sliding lets you adjust instantly, whether you're attacking or defending. It's about being light on your feet.
The book also mentions that how wide your stance is affects your footwork speed, right?
Yep. A slightly wider stance is more stable, and it naturally leads to smaller, quicker steps. Can't really lunge forward if your feet are closer together, so it forces you to be quick.
Interesting. Any drills they recommend to get this stuff down?
Tons. Stepping and dragging in all directions is a good one, just to get the feel. Then there's the box drill, basically stepping and dragging in a square, getting comfortable moving while staying balanced. Then you've got the circle drill, where you move around a point, like a punching bag, taking small steps on the inside, bigger ones on the outside, working on pivots and stuff. And they talk a lot about pivoting around that front foot. Super useful for creating angles to attack or dodge.
All right, so stance and movement, two sides of the same coin. Makes sense. On to commandment 3. Know and master your range. So this is all about distance, right? How far or close you are to the other guy.
You got it. The book says the ideal range is about 2 to 4 inches outside your opponent's reach. Seems like a small thing, but that little bit of space gives you big advantages.
Like what?
For one, they got to step forward to hit you, which gives you time to react, either block or hit back. Also, less stress. You don't feel like you're in constant danger because their punches just miss if they don't move. And the big one, you can keep the pressure on without being in immediate danger yourself. You decide when things happen.
But what if you mess up that distance? Too far or too close? What's the problem?
The book is really clear on this. Don't hang out too far or too close.
Yeah.
Too far. The other guy recovers, gets to think, and you can't hit what you can't reach. Too close. No time to react, no strategy. It's just a brawl.
And they use Mike Tyson as an example of mastering range, right?
Oh, yeah. Tyson's a great example. He was often shorter than his opponents, but he was so good at closing that distance explosively and then staying just out of reach. That constant threat, even without throwing a punch, it wore guys down, mentally and physically.
So range is about more than just staying safe. It's about controlling the whole fight.
100%. Knowing your range lets you choose when to engage, when to back off. That's ring generalship. And if you're consistently just outside their reach, they have to come to you. Makes them easier to predict. The book even talks about setting traps. Like you get them used to you staying back, then boom, you close the gap when they least expect it.
Okay, I like it. So any tips on how to actually move in and out of range without getting clocked?
They highlight a couple of moves. One is the rollout, where you drop low, step back with your rear foot, then the front, and come back up. Harder to hit a moving target, especially when it's lower. The other is the jab out. You throw a jab while stepping back. Jab keeps them off you, gives you space.
And they're pretty adamant about not just backing straight up.
Big no-no. You're a sitting duck that way. Easy to predict where you'll be. So use head movement, slip to the side, duck down, anything but a straight line. Or jab your way out. Make them work for it.
Makes sense. All right, we've got our stance, our movement, our range. Now it's time to hit something. Commandment 4. Obey the laws of punching and punch power. Sounds like the nitty-gritty of how to actually throw a punch.
It is. The book lays down 2 fundamental rules that apply to every punch you throw. And then 2 more, specifically for those knockout blows.
All right, lay them on us.
Rule number 1. Retrace your punch. Basically, you finish the punch in the same position it started, right next to your chin, same path, same speed. They're clear that the point where your arm is fully extended, That's the impact, not the end. The punch isn't over till your hand is back guarding you.
Why is that so important? Why not just, leave it out there?
Defense, my friend. Which brings us to rule number 2. The hand that's not punching, it's glued to your chin. Always. Think about it. When you're punching, you're in range, and extending your arm leaves you open on the other side. That other hand, it's your shield.
So even a jab, you got to be thinking defense immediately.
Always. They actually give this great example. 2 guys both throw a jab at the same time. One drops his other hand, the other keeps guarding. The one who guarded is way more likely to land his punch and way less likely to get hit in return. It's that simple.
Okay, got it. Now, what about those power punches? How do we turn a jab into something with a bit more that oomph?
2 key things for power. First, you got to pivot the foot on the same side as your punching hand. Second, transfer your body weight through the punch. That combo, rotation plus weight, that's where the power comes from.
Like that saying, punching power comes from the ground up.
That's it. The book calls your hips the generator, taking energy from the ground up through your body and out your fist. And the pivoting foot, it's like plugging in that power. They do say some people are just naturally powerful punchers, but the right technique lets everyone hit harder. And here's the thing, you always got to punch like the other guy's going to hit back. Hence the need to get that hand back to your face fast and keep that other hand guarding.
Never let your guard down, literally. All right, that's the basics of throwing a punch. But let's get specific. Commandment 5, make the jab your best punch. That's a bold statement.
Yes, the book says straight up the jab is the most important punch in boxing. They call it the catalyst for every other punch, like the queen in chess. Super versatile, sets everything else up. They say even the hardest punch in the world won't land without a good jab to help it along. Rangefinder, opener, disruptor, it can even win fights on its own. Points in frustration, that's the jab.
They even say a good jab can be 70% of your offense. Why so much emphasis on this one punch?
Well, for one, it's the safest punch.
Yeah.
Lead arm's already out there. You don't got to overextend or open yourself up like with a power punch. It's also the fastest punch because it's closest to your opponent.
Yeah.
Harder to react to. And the book goes deep on the different types of jabs, shows you how adaptable it is.
All right, I'm intrigued. Give us a rundown of these different jabs.
So you got the pesky jab, all about messing with their rhythms, stopping them from attacking, distraction. Think fast, light jab, doubles, triples, maybe some fakes thrown in, all while you're moving. Then there's the stiff jab. That one's more offensive. You want to stop them coming forward, maybe even push them back, throw it with more weight, a bit more extension. The splitter, that's a sneaky one. Thumb pointed up, it slips through their guard, kind of like a cheap shot. Then the upper jab, this one comes up from underneath, catches them off guard, snaps their head back, opens them up for a right hand. And lastly, the blinder. It's not even a punch, really. You just extend your hand up and back, blocking their vision, setting up an angle for your power shot.
Wow, so much variety in just that one punch. But across all those variations, what stays the same? What's the core technique?
Good question. Chin down, backhand glued to your chin, that's constant. And you also got to bring that jab hand right back to your guard. Speed is key. Mechanically, a basic jab, it's straight out from the chin with a little twist to your hand at impact, palm down, gives it a snap.
And any big no-nos, things that scream amateur.
Yeah. The biggest one is raising your elbow before you jab. Total giveaway. The other guy knows it's coming. The jab should go straight out, straight back, no wasted motion. They also talk about the jab to the body and how it's not just about bending over and punching down. You got to lower your whole body, get your shoulders level with the target, more power, better balance, and you keep your chin protected.
So much nuance to it. Okay, the jab, that's our foundation. But what about the other punches? Commandment 6 is master the mechanics of the major punches. So this is where we expand our arsenal beyond the jab.
Exactly. They introduce 8 more punches that every boxer needs to know. First up is the straight right, or the cross if you're orthodox. They call it the granddaddy of all power punches. For righties, it feels natural. You really get to put your whole weight behind it. They contrast it with the left hook, where the weight shifts from front to back as you pivot.
And the power principles still apply here, right?
Yeah.
Pivot and weight transfer.
Absolutely. They stress that for all these punches. And they give this cool tip, punch through your opponent. Like visualize your target an inch past where you're actually aiming. Ensures full impact. But they're also real about the risks. Power punches, if you miss, you're open. That's where the laws of punching come back in. Got to retrace, got to guard.
Okay, so let's break them down one by one. Starting with that straight right, how do you throw it right?
They call it a ground-up punch.
Right.
Rear foot pivots, knee comes in, weight shifts forward. That rotation goes up through your hips and torso. Core strength is huge here and explodes out through your right arm. Lead side's your brace, keeps you steady. At impact, palm down, chin tucked. then snap it straight back to guard.
One thing they're big on, don't wind up, don't cock your fist back. It's a giveaway.
What about going for the body? Just punch downwards.
Nope. Like the jab to the body, you got to lower your whole body, knees bent, so your shoulders are level with the target. Leaning over doesn't cut it. Got to maintain that forward drive. Get your body in the right position. Got it. Now, the left hook seems like a punch everyone thinks they know, but probably get wrong.
Oh, yeah. The left hook's a full body move. Weight goes to your left foot, then everything pivots, legs, hips, torso, all of it. Like you're spinning on a stick. That full rotation is what makes it powerful. They mentioned the palm position can change depending on the target. Palm in for outside the elbow, palm down for inside. And don't drop your arm before you throw it. That's telling the other guy exactly what's coming. Keep it up, close to your body, till the last second.
How about the left hook to the body? Same idea, just lower.
Yep. Bend your knees as you load up that left side, shoulders and hips. Pivot over your left foot.
Okay, what about the right hook? Different from the left.
Similar concept, but your rear foot does the pivoting this time.
Yeah.
Again, don't drop that arm. They show different palm positions, down or in, depending on the angle.
Okay.
And the body shot, same deal. Load the right side, pivot through your right leg.
Okay, last one's the uppercuts. They seem to come from a totally different angle.
They do. Left uppercut, weight shifts to the left. Bend your knees to get lower. Keep that arm tight to your body till you explode up, twisting your upper body and pushing with your legs. It's all one move. Fist, arm, shoulders, legs, everything works together. Again, don't drop your arm beforehand. Right uppercut's the same idea. Use your legs, use that body rotation. Don't just arm punch.
Man, I never realized how much technique goes into each punch. It's a science.
It is. Mastering this stuff, that's what separates a good boxer from someone just swinging wildly.
So to wrap up this first part of our deep dive, we covered a lot. Stance, movement, range, how to punch properly, and how important that jab is, plus those power punches.
And hopefully our listeners are starting to see how this all applies beyond just boxing. Think about it. Balance, footwork, understanding distance, that's all relevant in so many things. And that focus on the fundamentals, the jab is your core skill, that's a lesson for anything you do.
Totally. And here's a thought for you to chew on. That idea of retracing your punch, fully committing, and then coming back to that ready position. How does that apply to your life? Or think about that on guard stance. Are you always prepared in your work, your relationships, whatever?
This is just the beginning. We haven't even touched on defense, counterpunching, using angles, sparring, fight planning. Lots more to uncover. Let us know what you're most interested in, and we'll dive deeper in future episodes.
Yeah, hit us up with your questions. We'd love to know what aspects of boxing really grabbed your attention. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.